The APEC Economic Leaders Week has kicked off in Gyeongju, and preparations for high-level meetings are in full swing, as U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping will be visiting South Korea this week. For more on what to expect, we're joined today by Professor Ban Kil Joo, Assistant Professor at the Korean National Diplomatic Academy. Professor Ban, thanks for coming in today.
Hello, good to be with you.
So preparations for high-level meetings are in full swing in Gyeongju. What should we be watching out for?
Well, the Economic Leaders Week of APEC 2025 Korea began yesterday under the theme of Building a Sustainable Tomorrow. In more detail, the APEC Leaders Week is composed of the three sections, concluding senior officials meeting, which are made from 27th to 28th of October. Second, APEC ministerial meeting from 29th to 30th of October. And then lastly, APEC leaders meeting from 31st of October to 1st of November. Obviously, the event that comes to our attention the most is the last one, which is the summit meeting. Meanwhile, although APEC is a multilateral platform, it also serves as an opportunity to promote bilateral meetings. As you mentioned earlier, both leaders of the United States and China, President Trump and President Xi, are attending, and the new Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi is scheduled to come. So the second ROK-US summit, as well as the ROK-China summit and the ROK-Japan summit, is scheduled to be held during the opportunity of Gyeongju APEC. In this vein, Gyeongju APEC can be defined as the most influential diplomatic event that South Korea has hosted in recent years. In the meantime, the meeting seems to be going well as of right now. There are so many points which should be in the limelight. If you ask me to summarize the key points that we need to watch at this Gyeongju APEC, I would make 5 points. First, how to enhance South Korea's prestige as a global responsible power. Second, how to achieve the win-win outcomes in the second ROK-US summit, particularly regarding tariff negotiations. Third, how to effectively provide a diplomatic platform to mitigate tension between the United States and China. Fourth, diplomatic efforts to reconfirm the shuttle diplomacy with Japan. And lastly, how to ease tension on the Korean Peninsula and the possibility of Trump-Kim meeting.
Right, a lot to look forward to. And tomorrow, President Lee Jae Myung will meet President Donald Trump for the second time since taking office. And with key trade issues still unresolved, a lot of attention is on whether the summit could lead to a sort of a breakthrough in trade negotiations. What's your take on this?
To be honest with you, the second ROK-US summit will be harder to grapple with than the first one that took place in Washington, D.C. in August. The reason is that first, reaching a general agreement is much easier than reaching a clarified and detailed agreement. The second summit is aimed at the latter goal, which means it will be harder to achieve a perfect win-win outcome. Second, since President Trump himself visits South Korea as opposed to the first summit, which President Lee visited Washington, D.C., Trump is eager to reach a bigger deal than the first general deal when his deal-making style is taken into consideration. In the meantime, trade negotiations have not been reached yet in the working level, so Trump might present an unpredictable card as part of an effort to step up his leverage over South Korea on the D-Day of the summit. But at the same time, South Korea finds it hard to accept demand from the United States because a hasty negotiation could pose a serious challenge to its economy and national resilience. In this vein, a breakthrough is not going to be easy. Despite the fact both sides are willing to continue the negotiations for achieving a win-win outcome, so three scenarios could be possible. The first scenario is the low-degree agreement, which both confirm the need to have more time for negotiations without showing serious discord. Second scenario would be the middle degree agreement that they make a joint fact sheet on agendas that they confirm, such as shipbuilding and nuclear cooperation. And they agree to continue the negotiation. The final scenario is the high degree one that they reach a basic agreement on both security and economic issues and make a joint statement while slightly leaving room for further detailed negotiations.
Right, and what's also unpredictable is a meeting between Trump and Kim Jong-un Because Trump has repeatedly said he wants to meet Kim Jong-un, but officials here have said the meeting is unlikely to happen soon. But is there still room for last-minute negotiations?
Honestly, the DPRK-US summit will official diplomatic agendas is least likely. But the possibility of a surprise meeting to emphasize their friendship between Trump and Kim Jong-un cannot be excluded as of right now. The official summit requires time to prepare agendas and coordinate with allies such as South Korea. The United States didn't have enough time to make this process. In this sense, the official summit is not expected. However, there's still room for a surprise small meeting in the sense that both Trump and Kim Jong-un mentioned their close friendship. In particular, President Trump intentionally defined North Korea as sort of nuclear power on Air Force One for the Asia trip last Friday. This comment was aimed at increasing the possibility of a meeting with Kim Jong-un. Moreover, Trump expressed his intention to stay longer if Kim Jong-un wants to meet him. Moreover, very recently, Trump mentioned sanctions against North Korea as a possible agenda. In this regard, it's up to Kim Jong-un whether a small meeting will take place or not. In addition, several hints leave room for the possibility of the talks. The United Nations Command temporarily stopped the group tour on the Panmunjom during Trump's stay. To top it up, it seems that road maintenance was carried out in the northern part of the Panmunjom. All in all, an official summit is not feasible, but there's still some room for a small talk meeting.
I see. We'll have to see how that plays out. All right, Professor Pan, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.